Landlords, stop using random forms you have online. And this goes for you even if you have a property manager. Hey there, Christian Walsh, Coldwell Banker Ware Associates. We are real estate brokers based in California who specialize in helping tenants and landlords, buyers and sellers like you. And we are here to talk about one that drives us crazy. Hey, we understand landlords are out there, they're working hard, they are trying to find paperwork and forms that they can give to their tenants. You go online, you search, a bunch of places offer a form for free, you download it, you deliver it, you think, hey, everything's good. But that's not the case. We've heard some crazy stories from past clients before they started working with us, and from YouTube subscribers sharing their great tales. And we've seen crazy things in our business of helping landlords sell their properties. We've seen some crazy paperwork in there. But we're here, we're gonna give you advice, we're gonna lay this out to make it easier for you. This video, we're gonna run through an actual search for a form online for a simple one, the California Notice to Terminate Tenancy, just to show you how wrong it can go. We're gonna tell you where you can get the correct paperwork, and then we're also gonna give you a bunch of tips you can use at the end. So go ahead, hit that like button, and we'll get started. Here we are to show you what happens when you search online for random forms, how you can quickly get in trouble. So we're going to look for a notice to terminate tenancy for the state of California. It's required that you give a 30-day or a 60-day notice in the state of California. And here's an important bit of text that needs to be on the notice in order for the notice to be valid. It's part of Civil Code 1946 in the state of California, and it needs to have this language right here. It says state law permits former tenants, blah, 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 blah. Just copy and paste it. It needs to be on there. And here's what happens if it isn't. You go ahead and you deliver the notice to the tenant. The tenant may not know. They may move out, and nobody's any the wiser. But what can happen is, let's say the tenant does not move out, and this language is not on that notice that you gave, the 30 or 60-day notice, then that tenant can challenge that in court. In fact, your eviction attorney is not going to let you move forward because they know they're going to lose when they get in front of the judge. So this is a simple test, a simple thing. If nothing else, the notice should have this language on it. So it's time to do a search. So here we go. We typed into Google 30-day notice to terminate tenancy, California. That's pretty darn specific. Right here, the e-forms, and I'm not disparaging any website, I don't want any lawsuits, libel, slander, anything. I am just simply trying to help. So here we go, e-forms, it's the top, here at the top. This is not a setup. This is simple Google search. Right at the top is this California lease termination letter, 30-day notice from e-forms. E-forms sounds official, looks official so far. Dun, 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 dun. So here it is. Scroll through this 30-day notice, it looks pretty darn official. Nowhere on it is that language. So in other words, if a landlord gives this official looking notice out, it actually is not the correct notice, and a landlord will have to start over and give the appropriate notice. So that's for a 30-day notice. Let's see what else. The courts for California have a link, but it actually doesn't have a notice there. This one, express evictions, I checked earlier, that one actually is valid. That one has the correct language. This one, I'm not going to show where it's from. It's from a place where they should know better, is all I'm going to say. And this is still on the first page of Google. This one has a lot of text on here and actually starts to talk about reclaimed property, right here, reclaiming personal property. But they didn't copy and paste in that code. So basically, this will be null and void because it doesn't have it on there. So that was, maybe it's just a fluke. We'll try a different search, all right? Let's switch. We'll do a 60-day notice to vacate California 2020 PDF. It's pretty darn specific. And you see here a bunch of pictures, images, and here's one that does not have it on there. Here's one that looks official, and it's, again, I'm not disparaging the website, but there it is, state law. So in tiny print, you can't really see it, but in tiny print, this one actually has it. But if you're looking at all the other ones on here, they all look the same. It's easy to not notice it's missing important language. All right, so let's go back and see. This sounds, I mean, this website here sounds like, yeah, they should know. It says 2020 in the name of it. And lo and behold, landlord to tenant, periodic lease of a year or more. So this is going to be from the landlord to the tenant. It says right here, this is a 60-day notice. And boom, this is an invalid 60-day notice because it doesn't have the language on it. I don't have to keep going on and on, but I will tell you that I found others that looked very official, let you fill it out, and lo and behold, does not have that language on it. Long story short, this is one example, and it's absolutely crazy to me the number of people offering notices that are completely ineffective notices. So this is the risk you run into, and this is just on a simple state of California notice. More important notices like for non-payment of rent, complying with new laws like AB 3088 in California. If they can't get a simple, old, tried and true form right, you can only imagine what's going to happen with something new or something big like a lease. So we're back. What did you think? Pretty crazy how quickly it can go wrong on just a simple form. I've seen some crazy things out there for leases. One website at the top of Google lets you create a fillable lease and was missing some of the required addenda for the state of California. Not a good thing. So why do I offer sample forms in the bottom of some of my videos? That is a good question. It came from Edwin, who is a viewer, and wrote that comment. I think it's a fair question. I do my best to provide forms that you can look at, but they're just samples. At the end of the day, I am not a licensed attorney. I'm not a CPA. I am a licensed real estate broker. I can't give tax or legal advice. So any form, any sample I include, you actually need to have an attorney take a look at that as well. And things change. If I shoot a video 6 months ago, that form may not be valid anymore. So that's the other side of it. Don't use any forms you find online unless you're running by an attorney. And that includes mine. Where can you find the right paperwork? Here's a few different places you can turn. So number one would be a good real estate agent. Someone like me, I can actually get you the paperwork. We'd need to talk one-on-one. I can't just have a sample down below that I just give out willy-nilly. We'll talk about your specific situation, and then I'll get you the right paperwork. Another important place to get the paperwork from is a local apartment or landlord association. So the California Apartment Association is a good one here locally in the state. There are associations all across the nation. You can always do a Google search for apartment or landlord association and put in your county or your city and find those resources. That's a great place to network, meet other property owners, and they should have their own set of forms that conform to state guidelines. The third good place to turn to is an attorney who specializes in tenant and landlord issues. And again, a lot of landlord and apartment associations will have someone like that. And what if you're using a property manager? Don't they take care of this for you? Well, of course, as you know, not all property managers are created equal. Some are better than others. Some are staying more current with paperwork and forms. That'll be an important question to ask. Are you using the most recent notices, forms, addenda, leases, etc.? Ask where your property manager is getting those, and then make sure you get a copy when everything is delivered to the tenant. And then the other important thing is to make sure that you have your own attorney, because your property manager may have an attorney, but is that attorney going to defend you in the event that anything goes wrong? So let's wrap this up with a few quick tips that all landlords can pay attention to. How the notice is served matters as much as what's on the notice itself. So this will vary depending on what it is you're delivering, and it may vary across the nation. Here in California, the best way is to hand it directly to the tenant. Next would be substituted service, which is to give it to somebody else in the home. Then the next would be post to the door and mail a copy. And then the last would be just to send a certified mail copy. Those are the four most popular methods. And in some cases, you may not be required to do any of those. Some things could just be mailed or emailed as well. But we definitely want to make sure that the way you serve the notice is done correctly, and that you also make sure you keep record, you record the way you serve that notice. New laws may mean new paperwork. So in California, we just had a new bill passed, AB 3088, which means a lot of different paperwork and a change to a lot of different familiar processes. So if a tenant's not paying rent, it's not a 3-day pay or quit, it's a 15-day notice, and it must include a special declaration. So again, new laws may mean new paperwork, don't forget. Before you deliver a notice or sign a new lease, don't dust off that old version you have in the back of the filing cabinet. Go ahead and do a search to find the most recent one. Don't just do it online. Go to a trusted resource, an agent, association, or an attorney to get the most recent version of whatever it is you're delivering. And of course, we recommend joining a good apartment or landlord association to stay up to date on the latest legislation, plus meet other great landlords. And there you will also find a great attorney that you need to work with going forward as well. And there could be some good agents there, but I like to think you're just going to come to me. So we hope you found this helpful. We ran through this one quickly, but this is one that's driving us crazy. Stop using those forms you find online. What we'd love from you is we'd love, if you've got the guts, go ahead in the comments below, share a funny story about what has happened to you with finding a form online and delivering it. And hopefully we can laugh about it. Hopefully you're at the point where it's funny now and not still stinging. So thanks for tuning in. We would encourage you to subscribe to our channel. We'll keep a lot more content coming. We're going to be focused on landlord and tenant issues. We're going to be talking about evictions. We're going to be talking about the housing market, foreclosures. We're doing reports on those. We have a lot more data coming related to that. And of course, we have an email newsletter that comes out weekly that covers some of those same issues. You can sign up below. We'd highly encourage you to do that. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, Coldwell Banker Wire Associates. We'll see you again soon.